some years of Madison Scouts where it's like, this is the quintessential drum corps approach. And something that I think comes to mind when we're talking is the flavor. Yes. There's always been this flavor that the drum corps is interested in putting forth, that they depend on. And, looking at the repertoire, you guys just announced it and it caused a fervor online. It was like this kind of palette of different music. I think Billie Eilish was on there.
Correct.
What else is on there?
Well, first of all, let me step back and say, here's the thing.
Please.
The Madison Scouts, and I don't want to say in their heyday, because it's about to be our heyday again, but if you look at the 80s and 90s, they were always pulling out music that was hot. Like there'd be a new musical on Broadway and boom, they would play that the next year. But we're so nostalgic, people are like, oh, old school. In the early 90s, in the late 80s, early 80s, the Madison Scouts weren't old school. They were playing tunes right after they came out on the Broadway scene.
Right.
So we would, City of Angels would come out or something would come out on Broadway and then Scott Bormer would want to play it or Scott Stewart would want to play it. And so, we're not going to come in and decide what the Madison Scouts are. The Madison Scouts are the Madison Scouts. But what can we get back to that is what made the Madison Scouts what they are? And that was it. So, we are going to tilt our hat to things that have been there before. There's some composers and artists that are familiar, but, like Billie Eilish. I mean, she just raked it in at the Grammys. Well, that's what the Madison Scouts should be programming. What's hot right now. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think there's this issue where people think that the Scouts are Malagueña or the Scouts are this.
Right.
And I don't know that the Madison Scouts are one tune or one composer. It's when we've all talked about why we wanted this job, I think the word swagger was used, excitement, right? Jason said that. And so if City of Angels was the hot thing in 1991, I'm not saying we're doing Hamilton, but the Madison Scouts would probably put Hamilton on the field, right? Because that's what's new, that's what's contemporary. It's not about one piece, it's not about one composer, it's about the attitude of the Madison Scouts. It's walking out there on the line, they pop out, I'm not saying we're doing that or not doing that, and then they form the fleur-de-lis, and everyone's like, yeah, there we go, awesome. And they're loud, and they're exciting, and they've got screamers and all these things. These are all the elements that make a Madison Scout show, not the fact that we have to play Malagueña or we have to play Ice Castles or we have to play the way we were. Those are great things and those are a part of the Madison Scouts history, but that's not what defines the Madison Scouts. And when we all sat down to discuss the show and discuss the music and discuss all the things, we go, what musically that maybe contemporary makes us feel the same way that maybe the City of Angels made them feel like 30 years ago or Malagueña or anything like that. So, we could find a Marquez tune or something like that and go that's the Malagueña of today, or that's the City of Angels of today, or something, or that's the Jesus Christ Superstar. Because one tune isn't going to define the Madison Scouts. That's what encores are for, right? Play Malagueña in the encore. Great, let's do that. Do we need to play Malagueña every year? No. Should we play it this year?
One chord or one.
Why not? Yeah, what's a Phrygian progression? Something like that. Probably saying it wrong. Sorry, theory nerds. I don't have a starting pitch here, but I totally think that we could throw something in there and go, yes, Boston. When's the last time they played the chump, chump, chump? I don't know when they did that.
Conquest.
But, yes, the Conquest, exactly, the B-A-C, that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean that they're not the Boston Crusaders. Their identity is very different since the new team came over, but they're still the Boston Crusaders.
Right.
You look at the Blue Devils for 7,500 years of championships, and they're still the Blue Devils. They still look like the Blue Devils, but they're not. They change, and they don't have to play When a Man Loves a Woman every year. Right. You think they do an encore? That's what they do, right?
Yeah.
So when we cited that music, we wanted to figure out what was going to make the audience and judges and members feel like this is what the Madison Scouts are, not because we're playing an old song.
Right.
When we had our first design meeting last fall, it was actually here in Austin, our executive director met us down here, and before we started the design meeting, he sat down and he was like, I want you to have courage to go for it, and I've seen design teams have big ideas and not capitalize on them. I don't want you to do that. I want you to have huge imaginations and go for it, and that's kind of what we've done. We've wanted to reach for the stars and create something special for our membership, but we really want to be unapologetically Madison.
Right.
And that's the goal.
Which is so interesting. It's how do we move forward? It's by looking back. It's by having that sense of awareness. You're looking inward. What are the things that made this core what it is? It's not like a divergence away. It's not a betrayal. It's acknowledging what's gotten the drum corps here. And it's let's play with that. We have to have an acknowledgement of what's gotten us here. Because if you came out as a Madison Scout and there was no reference or no feeling or connection to the identity up to this point, maybe that wouldn't be right either. And then I think a great point you bring up is, Are we looking to appeal to contemporary fans that are going to be future drum corps members? Are we looking to appeal to recent alumni? Are we looking to appeal to the older alumni who marched when it was like up and down the 50? And it's like, how do we do all of that? And I think what you're describing is we're looking to cast a wide net. Like, I think the Madison Scouts are playing music, like you said, like, well, the Billie Eilish is going to be for the teenagers who are deciding where they're going to go. Mm-hmm. And then some of the other repertoire is for those kind of quintessential Scouts fans who they're looking for that. They want to sink their teeth into something that gave them goosebumps when it was 1993 and they were seeing that for the first time. So it's not a turn away, but it's certainly like having that sense of awareness. This is who we are, but we don't have to just be this. It can be something fresh, and it's got to be. I mean, if you're looking to make that competitive splash, it's like we can't be afraid to be contemporary in a contemporary world.
Right. Well, I mean, to be honest, we're just playing music that we find very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reality is, the Madison Scouts are not a finalist corps. They are 17th. We're a 17th place drum corps right now. And so we have to do something that is going to invite the kids, invite the audience, invite the judges, go like, hey, we're going to try something. We want to do this. We know where we're at right now. We're not trying to win. We'd love to win. 17 to first, that would be amazing. I think we would just retire if that happened.
I would be done.
I mean,
we're the only drum corps.
It's George, like, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out, that's right.
Yeah.
But the reality is we know where we're at. We know where we want to be.
Right.
But we also know what we have to do. We have to get the kids, as they say, because if we came out and said, hey, everybody, it's a throwback show, nothing wrong with throwback shows, I don't know that the excitement would continue.
Right.
And we want to maintain that excitement. So with the repertoire, that's the easiest thing to put out there, right? We can put artists' names and say, we're doing this, so that the kids, the performers, the audience, the judges can go like, that's cool, they're playing that. I wonder what tune they're playing like that. I wonder if they listed all the composers that they're using in their show or not. So, it's that kind of thing. So you put that out there and they go, we're doing Billie Eilish, or, oh, they're doing Billie Eilish. One of my favorite lines from the Private Parts movie about Howard Stern is when he was talking about the ratings, he go, why do all the people that listen? Because they want to know what he's going to say next. What about the people that hate him? Well, that's what's funny, is they're listening to him also.
Right.
Why are they listening to him if they don't like him? Because they want to hear what he's going to say next.
Right.
I think that's where we're at right now. I think the haters are like, oh, I got to see what the Madison Scouts are doing. I need to find out why I'm angry this year.
Right.
And everyone who wants Madison to be good is like, I need a reason to be excited about you. And then you have people that are like, I just like drum corps.
Right.
And we want to get all of those. And Jason said it on a competing podcast, but I think old fans and new fans will have something to seek their teeth into within the first 90 seconds of the show.
Right.
If you are not into what we're doing in the first 90 seconds, I don't know what to tell you, because we've given you what you want, whether you're old, young, new, experienced, gender, whatever. There's something there for you.
Right.
And we did it on purpose.
Right.
So.